What is going on there, everybody? Welcome to the MUFC MPB channel. It is your boy Kempy, and we are here today to discuss everything from yesterday's emphatic victory against Liverpool as the Red Devils won out as 4-3 winners, and we're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We're going to go through all the quotes from yesterday from the likes of AMAD'S, seeing Mason Mount back in the pitch, and the brand new Casemiro injury. So strap yourselves in and let's get into the news from yesterday. First of all, we just have to look at yesterday's result. What a result it was, a 4-3 victory against Liverpool at Old Trafford. It has been quite some time since we've seen Old Trafford bouncing like that, and it was absolutely fantastic to see as well. It took some time, quite quickly we got into the game and McTominay got us off as 1-0 leaders, but that end of the first half capitulation was just classic Manchester United of this season. A couple of deflections, maybe an unlucky goal, a potential foul on Bruno Fernandes. I, for one, was livid on Twitter that wasn't given away as a foul. Looking back at it, maybe a little bit soft, but at the end of the day, 2-1 at half time, and you're thinking this is going to be an absolute downpour. Well, it took until the 87th minute, and the man this season that has been slated all year, Anthony, comes off the bench and scores what I must say is a fantastic goal. It gives me flashback to Makeda, that sort of 180 spin and a sort of shot around. Obviously Makeda's from further out, but Anthony, the 180 spin and the shot into the bottom corner, making it 2-2 and sending the game to extra time. That is massive for Anthony, and I hope that gives him a big old boost. I mean, we know Anthony has not been fantastic this season. It is absolutely no sort of surprise for him. The stats of how many goals he scored, etc., is just horrendous. The goals and assists are, off the top of my head, it's like 3 goals his whole United career. It's not good, okay? Anthony's not been fantastic. Well, that goal for him yesterday was absolutely brilliant. And then we skip into extra time, and Harvey Elliott scores. Another deflection taken away from Onana. 2 deflections out of 3 goals to Liverpool. I don't think Onana could be blamed for this today at all. I think he was absolutely brilliant. Some incredible shot stops, and just that 2 of the goals were just pure deflections. And the other goal from Salah, he made an unbelievable save. Darwin Núñez' shot, saved it down, and Salah's just there to volley it in. Not anything you can do about any of the goals, in my opinion. All the deflections were a little bit rough, just taking it off him last minute. They were all quite close as well. So annoying, but I don't think Onana could be blamed for the 3 goals yesterday. And then Marcus Rashford scores that goal in the 112th minute. Now, obviously, he missed what is an unbelievable chance at the end of the game in the sort of 94th minute, last kick of the game. Literally, the whistle went as he finished that shot, and he goes wide of the post. And it was one of them moments you're thinking, Marcus, what have you done? That has to be a goal. A player of your caliber has to be putting that in the back of the net. But obviously, understandably, it is an immense high-pressure situation, and it sort of is what it is. He misses it, but he makes up for it in the 112th minute and gets the game back to 3-3, and we're thinking it's penalties. We've got Bruno Fernandes at centre-back. Harry Maguire is up front. Anthony is playing left-back. Liverpool have obviously sat in and pretty much gone for penalties, and you're thinking there's absolutely no way. A 120th minute corner for Liverpool, a counter-attack. Garnacho with that composure and brain to play that off to Amad Diallo. Amad drops his shoulder, beats Conor Bradley, I believe it was, who's the last man defending, shimmies away from him, gets that shot off. The shot almost took like 15 minutes to go into the back of the net. It was such a long dribble. It felt like it was going on forever. And obviously that goes into the back of the net, in off the post. An absolute elation. Amad takes his shirt off. He gets a red card, so he's banned for the Brentford game. It was absolute scenes. But what a moment. And that is what it's all about, to be a Manchester United fan. And you've had that feeling yesterday. It was just, you got goosebumps watching it, and you're tingling and sitting here talking about it. It was one of them games where you remember, after how hard this season's been, why you love Manchester United. And for me, yesterday was exactly that. And we're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We know we've got Coventry, but we'll go through that just later on. We're going to touch on Amad Diallo. Amad is him. I mean, unbelievable from Amad. He's not had a touch on the field this season. He's been, really, really quiet. He's probably played, 45 minutes overall this season, and he comes on in that moment at Old Trafford against Liverpool, has the composure to take that touch around Conor Bradley and put it into the bottom corner. It is simply fantastic. I don't think anything about Amad's sort of ability as a player has ever been questioned. I mean, the likes of Atalanta, before we signed him, players were comparing him to Messi, the way he dribbles the ball, his technical ability. It is simply fantastic. fantastic, and we saw that yesterday. Even some moments he had on the pitch, when he dribbles the ball, he just glides over the pitch, and he's fantastic to watch. AMAD'S Diallo, remember the name. I think we're going to be seeing more of him. It's a massive moment for him. Obviously, he's out against Brentford after the international duty, but that's absolutely fine. I think we'll take that red card on the chin. At least it's available for the semi-final, because the red cards aren't transferable through competitions because of the FA Cup. That red card just carries over into the league, which is absolutely brilliant, because I'd much rather he's missing against Brentford than anywhere else. And Amad will be suspended for that game, as mentioned, the red card. The competition is not competition specific, and that's per Simon Stoney. I just love this picture as well. Garnacho, this is not even on topic. Just look at the emotion in his face. The absolute limbs in Garnacho's face there when that goal goes in. This isn't even the goal. I think this is Anthony's goal for 2-2. But there is a video of him and Bruno Fernandes as Garnacho plays that ball to Amad. Amad finished it. Garnacho runs the opposite way to Amad, and they both sort of have each corner to themselves. And Garnacho is just on the floor, like in absolute tears. And Bruno goes over, and he's the same as well. It was a day yesterday where it just reminded you of how much you love Manchester United, and to have the likes of Amad, Garnacho. I mean, Højlund was back yesterday, which was fantastic, but having these young stars come through, it's absolutely brilliant to go ahead and see. And of course, Amad is going to come out and say that is the best goal of his career. Now, he has scored some brilliant goals, even for Manchester United. That sort of Chicharito-esque backwards header was absolutely brilliant, but that moment right there, for any player, I don't know if that's ever topping the moment. Obviously, the actual quality of the goal was a good goal. You know, the composure to take that drop of the shoulder, beat his man, and put it into the bottom corner was fantastic. But the actual moment of the goal, I don't think will ever be beaten. It was 121st minute against your arch rivals, bearing down on the Stretford end. And you beat, their young superstar in Conor Bradley. You drop the shoulder, you beat him, you put it into the back of the net. It's an absolute story, and Amad Diallo, absolute respect to him. He obviously said as well he forgot about the yellow card, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Obviously, he did the old Messi holding up the shirt. Amad 16, I believe it is, not 14. Amad 16. Forgot about the yellow card. It's, honestly, Amad, I don't think anyone, is blaming you for getting about the yellow card, as you've just scored in the last kick of the game against Liverpool in, the United versus Liverpool derby in the FA Cup to send us to Wembley. I don't think anyone's bothered, Amad, that in fact you got a second yellow. Absolutely fine, mate. You know what? Have a 3-game ban if you need to. It is absolutely fine. What an absolute legend. And that's enough about Amad Diallo. How great was it to see Mason Mount back on that pitch, and him himself has said what it's like to play for Manchester United. You can see the passion in his face there. He said yesterday there was a tweet. I'll find the tweet right now. Here it is. He said it on Instagram. This is what it means to be part of this team. He cannot wait for the next one. You can see the passion on his face. He absolutely loves it. He's got that heavy number 7 on his back. He's been hampered by injuries, but Mason Mount will become a great player at Manchester United. I am absolutely sure of it. We didn't really see too much from him yesterday. It was very quiet. He came on in the last I think he came on at the second half interval of extra time, so we hardly saw much of Mason, but what he did play, I mean, I can't even comment. Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention to what Mason Mount was doing. I was pure sitting there. My nails are bitten to shreds. It was finger biting stuff. I didn't really see much of Mason Mount, I have to be honest, but he was probably calm, composed. It's what he does. And you can see right there how much it means to him to be back on that pitch, to be back playing for Manchester United. It is a fantastic story. It's great to see Mason Mount back loving football. And just finally, I want to touch on some player ratings as well. As mentioned, Andrew Onana got a 7. As per the Manchester Evening News, I thought it was a pretty good place to go to. But Onana was a 7. I thought Onana was brilliant yesterday. Diego Dalot as well. There's a video of him at the end when he's, charting into the Stretford end in the corner. He's going absolutely mental, and you can just tell he loves United. And it's that sort of thing which just makes you love these players. They give him that legacy moments, like Amad's. That is his legacy moment, and Dalot has that all over his face when he plays for United. I thought Varane was very, decent yesterday. You can tell it's a little bit leggy yesterday. I thought it was okay, but it sort of is what it is. And same for Lindelof as well. I mean, the fact even Varane and Lindelof was our starting centre-back partnership. Varane is probably our number 2 to Licha. And Lindelof, I mean, realistically, he's saying he's number 4 behind Maguire. Maguire come on at the end, back from injury, and he was fantastic as well. We'll touch him in a minute. But Lindelof thought was decent as well yesterday. Wan-Bissaka really surprised me yesterday. He played at left-back for the majority, and he was actually so good on the ball. There was a few times where he was beating players, and he was setting it off, the little cutbacks. I mean, you can see it with 1-2 2 layoffs, 2-month layoff, pending for the second goal, whatever. I thought it said 1-2 layoff. There was like little triangles he was doing with Rashford and Bruno. He surprised me beyond belief yesterday, Wan-Bissaka. Even the fact that he played on the left rather than Dallo as well was brilliant, and he was fantastic as well. McTominay is just pure United, isn't he? We love McTominay. He is the definition of passion merchant, but recently the goal scoring form, he got us off to a 1-0, and he could have had that 2-0 as well. Shot it directly at Kelleher, which was, I don't think anywhere else he could put it. Obviously, Rashford lets it back to him, and it's just, he has to hit it where he has to hit it because the players are closing in. But Kelleher with a good save, to be fair to him. Mainu yesterday as well. We don't even touched on Kobbie Mainu. He was simply fantastic yesterday. The little shimmy dribble he did past the 2 Liverpool players, like they weren't even there. I mean, Gareth Southgate's got to be kicking himself. How he's not in that England squad, how he's not going to get a look at him before the Euros, I don't know. It's absolutely shocking. He was brilliant. Garnacho as well. This is a 6. I can't believe that. He ran himself into the ground yesterday. I've never seen a player run so much as Alejandro Garnacho yesterday. He was simply fantastic. And Bruno Fernandes as well, an 8 rating here. Ran as much as Garnacho, but also played in that sort of centre-back, quarterback role for half an hour. I mean, what on earth was that about? Bruno at centre-back next to Varane was not even, was it Varane? I don't think it was Varane still, I think. But it was brilliant. Bruno at the back, unbelievable, and was pinging balls across. It looked like he'd maybe done his Achilles a little bit. Maybe hopefully a little niggle of an injury, but he'll be fine. Same for McTominay as well. That's who I was thinking of. Both of them had like a little bit of a twinge at the end. McTominay's was cramped, but even McTominay, right, the ball to Rashford in the 112th minute, McTominay chests it down, has like a 2 or 3 step dribble, sets it off to Rashford, and as soon as we got past that ball, he's down, legs in the air. He would absolutely die for the badge, and you love that about McTominay. Rashford obviously was decent yesterday, missed a couple of decent chances in the second half, but he was a threat for the whole game. It's good to see Marcus back again. And Rasmus, honestly, yesterday was so quiet. Again, there's a big thing of the sort of the balls Rasmus gets into him. He doesn't get a lot. He doesn't get a lot of sort of bits to him, but he was good yesterday. From what we saw of him, he was okay. Obviously, he's been off for about a month now as well, 3 weeks there, and he was playing against Virgil van Dijk, who, let's be honest, is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. But it is what it is. He's back from injury. It's great to see him back playing football. Anthony, 8 rating for Anthony. Never did I think I'd see that. Superb finish with his right foot, obviously facing the other way. Got the ball into the bottom corner. Fantastic finish. Maguire, I thought, was brilliant return from his knee injury. He was a nuisance. That's exactly the word I would use for Maguire. He was an absolute nuisance for Liverpool. Just Van Dijk couldn't win headers against him. The ball was going up there, and he was winning every single one. Eriksen as well was fantastic. Obviously created that match-winning chance of Rashford at the end of the second half. That ball over the top was delightful when Eriksen was great when he came on as well. And obviously finally Ahmad got the winner, a 9 rating. Player of the match, absolutely fantastic. And the last thing to touch on, Casemiro is obviously back with another injury as well, of course, which is fantastic as per Samuel Luckhurst. So for the reoccurrence of the hamstring injury, which has hampered him all season, just from sources have suggested the intense demands of Manchester United training sessions have contributed to Casemiro's latest setback. Now, is this a case of we should be toning down our training sessions? Are we going for too much of a high press system for players like Casemiro and Varane? Are they going to continuously get these little injuries, or is what it is? I mean, Varane and Casemiro are both now sort of in their early 30s. Are they at the end of their careers? We're now going to move into the extremely high-pressing, aggressive system under Ten Hag, which we do see a hell of a lot, and we saw it yesterday. Maybe Casemiro just isn't going to be able to cut off that next step. I personally think getting the money for Casemiro in the summer would be very clever, and for Varane, I know it's a big change to massive people out of the dressing room, but I think with these recurring injuries, both of them have been in and out all season. I would say both of them should be going at the end of the season. We should look into getting someone. I mean, let's go back in for Frankie de Jong and have that saga again, and maybe like a Todibo or something at the back for Varane. And then obviously we are playing Coventry in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Now, I'm not going to say it's a guarantee to the final because Coventry are there and they deserve it. And they had their own incredible moment against Wolves, scoring in the 97th and the 100th minute, I believe, of 10 minutes of added time. They had their incredible moment. I think Coventry will be right up for it in the semi-finals as well. It's not going to be easy. People are thinking these games, they're, so easy. This is their biggest game in years and years and years. Obviously, Coventry have been under some financial turmoil in recent years. This is going to be huge for them. They aren't going to come and just lay down for us. They're going to put up an absolute battle and an absolute fight. So I'm very excited to see that one. But I would like to think we should get through to the final. But who do you think will win the FA Cup? Obviously, I'm going to sit here and say United. I actually think there's a good chance Chelsea could knock City out, and it could be a United versus City final. I just think City have got so much on. Obviously, they're going to be gunning for the Premier League, and that title race is so tight. Obviously, Champions League as well. They've got Real Madrid, so they're going to be all wrapped up in that one. I don't know when these games are actually happening, but I imagine it's going to be the middle of April. So they're going to probably be, if they get through Real Madrid, in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and that's going to be ridiculously hard for them. So they're going to have games going absolutely everywhere, whereas for us and for Chelsea, we're both out of Europe. Obviously, Chelsea were never in it this season. Both got massive things to contend with. This is it for us. Neither of us are going to get a Champions League probably. We're both gunning for the FA Cup just to win a trophy and for both managers to keep their jobs. So I think it'll be United versus Chelsea final, and I fancy us to go ahead and get the victory as well. Let me know what you guys think the score in the semi-finals will be against Coventry, and if you think we'll beat Chelsea or if it's going to be Manchester City in the final, who your final is going to be. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow MUFC MPB on Twitter and on all platforms to keep yourself locked in with Manchester United news, and I'll speak to you next time.